Hello, everybody. Welcome to Club Fuck It Bucket episode 12. I'm so excited to have you here, and I'm so excited about our guest today. But first, just a reminder, Club Fuck It Bucket is the place where we come and we talk about decisions that we've made where the universe and everybody around us has said, like, don't do that. It's not smart. You're going to fail. And we're just like, fuck it. And then we do it. And today we have one of my very favorite fucketeers coming on, mostly because I'm like insanely jealous of her. If I start to turn green, it's because I'm green with envy. Nikki Benedict, come on out, say hi to everybody. Everybody say hi to Nikki, comment, let us know that you're here, ask questions. Nikki, I'm so excited to have you on the show.
I'm so excited to be here.
This is amazing. So, like, one of my favorite things about you is you have this whole mission in your work and your life where you're bringing people together, you're building community, you're doing all of these things, but you are doing it from afar, which is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I started, I guess, building community, right? Like I didn't always have that in my life. I didn't have, this sense of closeness and things. I think when you're in a typical work life balance, living in a stationary home, it's kind of like you just go through the motion. So for me, it was really important to find community on the road and starting this RV lifestyle.
That's amazing. Okay, so you used to like live in a home. You're just like the super normal person who lived in a home. You had a job, and now you are not a normal person. You are a superhero. What happened? Like, how did you go from being this normal person to this very amazing unnormal person?
I think like a lot of people, the pandemic, right, just kind of took you out of what you knew, what you thought you were going to be doing, anything that you thought was going to be of your life, just kind of shook things up. For me anyway, it did. And I know a lot of others in that same, boat did as well. So I was laid off from my job. I was like side hustling, going back to my roots, serving, bartending, doing all the things. And I was like, okay, what am I doing? One day I was just staring out the window. I'm like, there's got to be something else, right? Like, I can't just stare out the window every day, watch these neighbors walk by I've never seen in my life. What's out there? So I discovered RV living. And I took about 4 months to take the plunge fully. I put it out into the universe and decided, okay, if I don't put it out there, it's never going to happen. Like I have to hold myself accountable. So I actually put it on LinkedIn that I was doing this RV lifestyle. And that was before I even drove an RV. I'd never driven an RV, nothing. And I decided, okay, I'm going to do this. People started reacting. I actually got opportunities because of it. So I'm like, okay, I have to actually make this happen. So I did. I made it happen within a year, really, of kind of discovering that this lifestyle existed and then making the plunge, buying an RV and selling everything to move into it.
Oh my God. Okay, so first of all, how did you discover it existed? Is this like an Instagram doom scroll moment? Was it really?
Yes, 100%. And actually, I discovered RV living and it wasn't, there's like the glamorous side to it. And like, let's give major props to everyone that does it really well and makes it look really glamorous. But for me, it wasn't that. It was my friend, my good friend, actually now, she was really real and raw. And it wasn't like the filtered photos. And she was just really honest. And she was out there doing it solo with her 2 dogs. I was like, I got to talk to this girl. I sent my first ever DM and the rest is history. We chatted. She told me her story and I, asked her advice along the way as I was planning. And yeah, then I did it, a few months later.
That's amazing. I mean, oh, that's so exciting. So, I have so many questions. The first is, who was the first person you told that you were going to do this?
Ooh, I'm not sure on that. Um, I think it was kind of like, I'm going to talk this out loud for a little bit. I think my friend Cara, the one that inspired me to do it, I think she's the first person that I actually told.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, I don't even really remember. I think I just made the decision and just decided I'm doing it.
I love that. Like that's that fuck it moment where you're like, I'm gonna do it. Um, What about people who weren't familiar with the RV lifestyle? When you started like talking about this to friends and family and people, not like LinkedIn, right? But like people who care about you and who kind of expect you to continue being like normal Nikki, right? For your whole life. How did they react when you started
Oh,
talking?
they thought I was, out of my mind. They were like, "What's going on? You can't, it's not safe. It's your travel like you've never done that. What do you mean you're going to live in it? How are you going to do all these things? Are you afraid?" All these things that
Right.
come to mind thinking of someone as especially like a solo traveler, right? And it was scary because it was so unknown. My family was really afraid. They were like, "What?" They didn't believe me, actually. They were like, "Oh, she's all talk at this point." But then I actually made it happen. They're like, "Whoa, you actually made it happen." I
That's
couldn't believe it either
amazing.
sometimes, but yeah, they were shocked. I think people were
Yeah.
taken back that I actually made it happen.
That's amazing. I mean, I travel solo a lot. I'm a surfer, so I love to just go and like go to surf school and spend time. And to me, that's probably like the safest way to travel as a single woman. And I get it all the time. People are like, "Aren't you afraid you're going to get kidnapped? Aren't you going to afraid like you're going to die or whatever?" And I'm like, No, no. I mean, I'm cautious, right? But I'm not afraid of it. So, yeah. So, Poppin, I have a million questions. I know that y'all do. Chris, who's my amazing producer and absolutely the full reason why we are here today, wants to know how many cities you've traveled to.
Uh, Cities, I don't know that number. I need to get back with you on that number, but I've been to 22 states this past year.
Okay.
So I've traveled over 18,000 miles in 22 states.
That's amazing. In 2022,
2021, 2022.
2021. Okay. All
2022.
right.
Oh
When
my
did
gosh,
you
I feel like this
start?
all blends together.
Yeah.
2019 to 2022 is like one big year sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's really like it's just 2 weeks, right? It was just 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We were supposed to all stay home. So when did you actually like when did you launch? Did you like smash a bottle of champagne on the side of your RV or anything like that?
I was terrified.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that could have kind of happened. It was a tragic situation. I lost my second mom, but she had gotten sick. So I actually, moved into my RV sooner than I thought. And then was stationary for a little while. And I was actually fortunate enough to be with her as she was, passing. But so I was there a few months stationary, and then I hit the road in July of 2021.
Okay.
And yeah, I
All
just
right. So it's
started.
been like it has been
Yeah.
a just over a year now
Yep.
then.
Yep.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I'm so sorry to hear about your second mom. Do you have like a favorite memory that you like to share of her?
I mean, she was just an amazing woman. She was full of life and so much fun, and she was a troublemaker. I think that April, you would definitely really appreciate her. Actually, favorite story, she did get the drumsticks from Brooks and Dunn. She got them
What?
for her son at the concert. She's like, "I'm gonna get these for you," and she did. She made it happen.
That's amazing. That's so cool. I grew up on Brooks and Dunn, so that's so now
Oh,
how do you decide like where you're going, how long to stay, what type of environment you're going to be in, right? Because I assume with the RV that most of your options are like outside of cities, right? Or just like full country. How do you decide?
it was just like, hey, I'm gonna plan out a little bit of my trip. Had certain places I wanted to go and see, but the rest was just, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I literally would plan things out last minute most of the time. I really did a bad job of like planning it out. I know a lot of people that plan things to the T in advance. They have all of their year planned out. I had a bad experience once in Jackson Hole, and that it was
Mhm.
like traumatic. I was like, okay, there's too many people. There was like a festival going on. I couldn't find anywhere to even pull over to find anywhere to even park. So I kind of learned my lesson, but for the most part, it's just, pick a destination and plan it from there, but be flexible. That was kind of
Right.
like my year.
Okay. Now, that's what I was going to ask. Is it towable or is it drivable? And if it's drivable, then like what do you use to get around once it's parked?
It's a Class CRV, so it's the cars attached, or it's all one.
Yeah,
The
it's a
bunk above
drivable.
the driving. Yeah.
Right.
I did have a tow. tow vehicle for a little while, but for the most part, I'm 24 feet, so it's not that big. I can still drive and park in parking lots, so it
Right.
worked.
Okay. That's nice. And then do you like if you have to go somewhere, do you break camp or do you have like a little scooter or tow your car or like what do you do to get around?
Yeah, I mean, there's always Uber, taxi. I have a bike. I
Okay.
have an e-bike. You can kind of walk, and then I have the tow car. So it just depends. I've gone through different phases throughout my travels this past year, so a little bit of both.
That's amazing. I love that you've like modified and iterated over the year to get to what works for you. So, we haven't even covered like what you actually do. So do you want to tell everybody what do you do? Where can they find you? How do they connect with you? How do they follow your adventure? Are you documenting your adventure like on Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn?
Yeah, so I just joined a few months ago with Book Outdoors. We are new to this space. We just launched a few months ago. So our mission is to be the premier destination for all outdoor travel. So we're launched in Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming, but we'll be launching in California soon. So I'm the head of community there. So kind of all things events, building community, identifying partners, all that sort of thing. I do share my travels on Instagram, connecting through Nikki. I really have been pretty quiet after kind of settling down here in Michigan, getting my bearings while I adjust to this new role. But I plan to hit the road a little bit again this year.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Nikki, thank you so much for joining us. I'm fascinated. You'll be getting a ton of questions from me, and my kids are going to hate you because I'm going to start being like, oh, okay, it's time for me to do this too. So I'm just gonna put a surfboard on top of mine and like just go along all the coasts.
Hey,
Um,
whenever you want to try it out too, you have one.
Hey, it's amazing. I love it. Well, listen, everybody, connect with Nikki, follow along with her adventures. If you are in the outdoor space and interested in partnering, this is an amazing opportunity. And thank you so much for joining us. If you want to be on Club Fuck It Bucket, shoot me a DM. We can chat about it. And we look forward to seeing you on Friday at 1:15 Eastern Standard Time. See ya.
Hey.